So if you take the word yoga, that means you are making a connection there. So now we're making a connection with bhakti. So you have a you have a phone, you have a computer, you have a book. It's all mundane from the onset. It's created at the time, and it will definitely be disintegrated also at the moment in history. But right now we're using it for Krishna, or to get to Krishna, using that as one of the items in our yoga practice, and that's why it's Bhakti Yoga. At the moment, we steer away from the Bhakti ingredient, and we just want to connect with the item. Then it's just yoga. You can say we just connect. Then it loses its spiritual Shakti. So then it's no longer going under a Chit Shakti potency, Krishna's spiritual potency. It goes under Maya Shakti. And as we have learned now, in 2 verses before, then it goes to the darker regions of the universe. Yeah. When it's connected with Krishna, then it becomes bright. Yeah. So let's see what we can learn now. Would you like to read the Sanskrit, Mataji, on Zoom?
Yeah. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha yastat vedo bhayasaha vinashena mrityum titruva sambhute yamartam asnute.
Perfect. Yeah, and you can do word for word. Would you like to say? Yeah. I think I lost your connection was lost. You can take it from beginning again, from the first word.
Sambhutam, the eternal personality of Godhead. His transcendental name, form, pastimes, qualities, paraphernalia, and the variegateness of his abode, etc. Sure, and Vinasham, and the temporary material manifestation of demigods, man, animals, etc., along with their false name, fame, etc. Sure also, Yaha as they are, Tad that, Veda knows, Ubhayam both, Saha along with, Vinasena everything liable to be vanquished, Mrityum death, Tirtva surpassing, Sambhutaya in the eternal kingdom of Godhead. Amratam deathlessness. Asnute enjoys.
Thank you. I just want to say something about the Sanskrit there. If you have remembered from the 2 previous verses, we talk about 2 concepts, Sambhutim and Asambhutim. Yeah. So Sambhutim means that which is eternal. Asambhutim, which means that which is temporal, such as demigods. Now we don't have the word Asambhutim today, but we have Vinasham. So in this verse, Vinasham is taking the place of Asambhutim. It's still the same thing we're talking about. So Vinasham means, what is destructible. Yeah. Yeah, so you can read translation.
One should know perfectly well about the personality of Godhead and his transcendental name, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it. And in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge.
Thank you. Yeah, you had something to say? Yeah.
What is this, when we read about Vinasham, they say along with their false name. What is...
Yeah, Vinasham. Okay, in the word for Vinasham, it says, and what did it say?
And the temporary material manifestation of demigods, men, animals, etc., along with their false name.
Yeah, along with their false name, fame, etc. Yeah. So what it means is that Prabhupada often use the word false. You can change that with illusory. Maybe it gives more meaning. So everything that's temporary is made by Maya Shakti. So it's illusory. It means that it's not eternal. Does it make sense? Yeah. Yeah. So in the same way we talk about false ego, it's illusory ego, you can also say. Yeah. It is an ego, but it's attached to the body, which is temporary, and it's an illusory self. Yeah, in that way, or false self. Yeah. So you can read on if you can. Yeah, if you like.
Human civilization, by its so-called advancement of knowledge, has created many material things, including space capsules and atomic energy. But it has failed to create situation in which man need not die, take his birth again, become old, or suffer from diseases. Whenever these questions are raised by an intelligent man before a so-called scientist, the scientist very clearly replies that material science is progressing and that it will ultimately be possible to render man deathless and ageless. Such answers by material scientists prove their gross ignorance of material nature. In material nature, everything is under the stringent laws of matter and must pass through 6 stages of existence: birth, growth, duration of life, transformation, deterioration, and death at last. Nothing that is in contact with material nature can be beyond the above mentioned 6 laws of existence. And therefore, no one, whether demigod, man, animal, or tree, can survive forever here in the material world. The duration of life may vary in different species. Lord Brahma, the chief living being within his material world, may continue his life for millions and millions of years, while the minute germs may live just for some hours. That does not matter. No one in the material world can survive eternally. Things here are born or created under certain conditions. They stay for some time, and if they have life, then they grow, create generations, then dwindle gradually, and at last are annihilated. By that law, even the Brahmas, there are millions of Brahmas and different universes, each one bigger than the last, are all liable to death, either today or tomorrow. Therefore, the whole material world is called Martyalok, the place of death.
Yeah, stop there. You can stop there. Yeah. Yeah, so Martyrlok, yeah. Mrityulok, yeah. Martyr or Mrityu, yeah. Huh? Yeah, so sometimes heavenly planets is called Amartya, place beyond death. But actually, it's not beyond death, because you have why is sometimes the heavenly planets described as Amartya, or the place where no death is happening, is because it doesn't happen as we are used to here. Here, we are so-called killed, or the body is suffering, death in one way or other. In the heavenly planets, it's not like that. It's just the time is up. Immediately one just fall down to the earthly plane. That's the description. So there is no death per se like that. But it's a temporary existence in the heavenly planets, because simply when time is up, one simply is leaving. In the same way it's described in hellish planets. It's also no death there actually. Well, of course there one is, you can say, dying again and again and again, because one is punished there. But it's all happening in a subtle deha. It's actually said you get a specific body for that, to be punished in hellish planets. In the same way you get a specific body to enjoy in the heavenly planets. So there are bodies, you get both in heaven and in hell, but these bodies are temporary and they're subtle. Yeah. Gross body you only get here. Yeah, you can see if there is possible to take down the volume. It's like they're playing, yeah? That's good. Yeah. Life is a play. As we learned in today's lecture that Prabhuji was giving.
Yeah.
It's like Lord has his exchanges with his devotees. He likes to play with his devotees. Yeah, this is on the higher level of relationship. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So the duration of life may vary in different species. Yeah. So I had a chart about that, but I will not pull that one up because it's too mind-boggling, you can say. But Lord Brahma, he's living for an extreme long amount of time. But for him, it's actually non-different, than our experience of time. I can just give an example. It was like this king, it's explained in Bhagavatam. This king was coming. The king had a son. He had a prince. So the prince he had problem to find a wife. Don't ask me how he had problem. Somehow or other he had problem. So the king he decided, no, let me just go and visit Brahma. So this was back in the day when interplanetary travel was possible. In the earlier Yuga, maybe Treta Yuga or something. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga. So he went to somewhere or other, he got some cities, and he just went to Brahmaloka, and he went together with his son. And then, okay, Brahma is there, but the guards in Brahmaloka said, just wait a little bit. Brahma is enjoying, a theater play, yeah, theater / dancing play, yeah. It's always like that. Brahma and Indra, they're entertained by Apsaras and Gandharvas, and So okay, so they wait, but how long is it left? It's just a moment actually. So it was like, and okay, and Brahma came. Oh, how can I help you? Yeah, you see, Brahma, my son is here and he has problem getting a wife. Can you arrange, that he can get a wife? Because you know everything. You have 4 heads. You see everything. But Brahma just, he just laughed. He said, he said, while you were waiting, your whole kingdom has disappeared, and like so many generations are gone now. Because one moment you were waiting for me, that means like so many yugas cycles even are gone. And they were like, oh really? But he said, don't worry, at this time, very soon, now Krishna has his Leela he come together with Balaram. So Balaram can actually, no, sorry, how was it again? Sorry, I was mistaken. He had a daughter. The daughter's name was Revati. So he wanted to marry his daughter. Yeah, the story still is the same, okay? Just exchange it with the daughter. Yeah, so as he said, actually Baladev is there, and he would be a perfect match for your daughter. Okay, so they went back, scooting back to Earth planet. And then landing and so, where is my kingdom, where is the castle? Everything is gone, and there's like completely different people there, and even their whole generation is gone. But, he saw, okay, we are in the kingdom, and okay, Baladev is there, and Revati, my daughter can marry him. So in that way, Baladev, he married to Revati. And they lived happily ever after. Yeah. But the story very nicely shows, the time dilation, when you get higher up. Yeah. Okay, so we can read on. Yeah, I can read on. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
6 laws of existence.
6 laws. Where is that?
Nothing that is
connected. Very good. So actually, I can pull up a chart for that. Actually, I'd prepared that. Let's see. Give me a second here. I found out actually because there is 6 changes. Let's see. Here we have it. Yeah. Can I write this here? Yeah. Okay, if I take on my notebook. See if I can write this. Yeah. So you have 6 changes. It's birth. It's birth, growth, maintenance, reproduction, deterioration, and death. Yeah. I'll write them down. 6 laws of transformation. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this on YouTube. I'll just pull it up. See, my notebook is here. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Where is this one? Yeah. So now I'll write this. Now it's on YouTube. 6 laws of transformation. Since Matri was asking. So the first one is birth. Yeah. Then is growth, maintenance, then reproduction, and then is deterioration. Deterioration. Yeah. And then is death. Yeah. But now these are different for living and non-living beings, you can say. You have the living and the non-living. So you say the living entities, yeah? For jivas, you can say, jivas. So they take birth, they grow, they have maintenance, they reproduce, they have deterioration, and then death. But for non-living, you can say for things, yeah? Because not everybody here is a jiva. You have stuff, yeah? Non-living. Yeah. Like, if you have, yeah, what can you have? Yeah, a piece of metal, for example, yeah? Yeah. Or your floor, yeah? So non-living things, they are going through only 3 of these. So they go through creation. Because you say you create the floor, yeah? And you have deterioration. And then you have, yeah, you can say destruction, yeah. Yeah, yeah, recycle. Yeah. Yeah, destruction. Yeah, I mean, it's the same as death, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can say, he's actually dying. Yeah, it's more like destruction. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, we'll put back our Īśopaniṣad in the scene again. Let's see. Yeah. So let's get our Īśopaniṣad back. There it is. Very good. Yeah. So now back to. Let's hope this works. Yes, I told you, my face just froze now on the YouTube. Hope the sound is still there. This program is for free, you cannot expect too much. Yeah. I was thinking I should buy a streaming program, It's a little expensive. You have to pay like 200 kroner a month or something. I may end up doing that because this program is always so many bugs. But that what can you expect when it's for free? It is like that. Okay, now we're back. So where did we end the reading?
Material scientists.
Material scientists and politicians are trying to make this place deathless because they have no information about what? Of the deathless spiritual nature due to their ignorance of the Vedic literature. So as we just saw, even the nature things, they also kind of die, yeah, they deteriorate. This is the amazing thing, like deterioration is very, very, prevalent in our existence. Like leave anything unattended for in a few days, weeks, months, just starts rotting and becoming, like for example, I was in Bergen now, and I kind of travel, by the seaside,
Yeah.
and I see they left some boats. And probably some person left the boat like 50 years ago and didn't take care of it. Maybe the person died or whatever. And now the boat is completely, rotten and filled with fungus, and everything is just looking terrible. Well, you can say some kind of charm to it also. But then I see another boat there, and that's taken care of by owner, and that looks shiny. But then I know that owner, he has to maintain the boat. Yeah, he has to do the maintenance. So as you saw in my chart, then you have, from nature side, they don't do any maintenance, right? The jiva has to do maintenance. So that's the thing. When there is a living being, he is doing the maintenance. He is doing the reproduction. He is doing the growth. and the birth. Actually, the birth is a creation. So in that way, you can say no living things. You create, a boat, and it's deteriorating and it's destroyed. But if you have a jiva working on it, he will maintain the boat. He will maybe reproduce the boat. I don't know. I mean, now they try to make the artificially intelligent so that one machine can recreate another. I don't think they will be successful with that.
I hope
No, I hope not. Yeah, me also. Actually, I just heard that artificial intelligence is such a misconception. There was this, scientist slash philosopher, Roger Penrose. He just is old, he's very wise. He just said, it's a wrong term to call it intelligence. Because it says intelligence, per nature, it needs to have sentience. It needs to have consciousness. And, sorry, mate, consciousness is not there in the machine. And everybody who has tried to use it, ChatGPT or anything, you very quickly find out there is no brain there. Right? They're just throwing whatever they have got. There's so many errors. You can never really trust it. So before I was trying to trust it, but I saw immediately so many wrong. Even mathematically they had wrong. In numbers, in this and that. It's like, I'm just very disappointed with the whole thing. Yeah. But they can pull out some good stuff and make like, but not very much intelligence in there, not at all. Yeah.
I heard that a temple where Buddhist temple where all the monks died, there is no one to continue. They put like a computer, like and then is ID there doing the service.
They put an AI in the Buddhist monk temple to just continue doing the service.
Yes, because everyone died. There's no one to.
Maybe it will work for them. I hope so. Yeah. But I don't think it would work for personalists.
Is it all gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just say it's coming from the mode of ignorance, and it will probably go to destruction and deterioration and destruction pretty soon. Of course, some people try to maintain it.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole concept is coming from mode of ignorance. So what can maintenance really do? It can just maintain the ignorance, you can say. Try and upgrade a little bit. That's good, but I mean, I'm sure they will find something which is good at doing. And that will probably be, this kind of conveyor belt operations, just very staccato, things. You should just do the same thing again and again and again. Some comments from Mina at Zoom?
Prabhuji, I was just thinking technology is not bad. I think if we can make use of technology intelligently. Because I was listening to one of the lectures which Keshava Swami has recently given on YouTube. He's also mentioning we should use AI and all other technology because we are using YouTube and all, and we are using social media. So this is the against situation, to put it if we are not using, then we cannot reach many people,
Yeah. I have no plans to stop my YouTube usage, so don't worry. I rather increase it.
If AI helps in text management, it can give us quick.
Yeah. I am using.
Then it's not bad.
I am using, but it's like we're open, but we're not so open that our brain fall out. Yeah. We're open-minded. There's a difference. We are very open-minded. We take in everything, but we're not so open-minded that our brain is falling out from the open mind. Yeah. So we have to be discriminate at the same time. I was just talking about my bad experience with AI, and we need to think about that. That's intelligence, right? Then we're using our intelligence means to discriminate what to do, what not to do. Yeah. So in that way, we were not just opening the door to AI, so floodgate of AI can just overflow our bhakti, and we have AI guru will give the class and everything. I mean, we use it with discrimination. Yeah, we use it with discrimination. Yeah.
But AI can help you in preparing.
We know it's good for finding. It's good for finding information, and they are fixing it to become better and better. But as we actually see. For AI to work very nicely, you need to have intelligent people taking care of that. If they maintain it, then it's working. It's a tool. Yeah, that's all. It's a tool, just like any other tool, and it's fallible. It's not perfect. So that's why you need an intelligent human being, taking care of it, and measure, the output also from that. If you leave it in the hands of AI to do the job for you, then you will be in danger. I will tell you, because
AI is only gathering information from all the sources.
That's the point. That's the point. So in that way, we have to use it with intelligence. That's all I'm saying. It's given by Krishna. All these things are given by Krishna, so we are supposed to use them. Definitely. Yeah. So I beg I beg pardon if I offended anyone. I just I vented my frustration a little bit. Yeah. From my own usage of AI.
That is fine. But the whole thing is like in today's world, I think we should adapt technology, but at the same time be mindful, how we are using it.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. I mean, it's good you have this because sometimes devotees have been very like Vedic like this. Everything should be so Vedic, But it turns out, what we thought was Vedic, it's actually, more like a mixture of Arabic and Indian. It's like we're going to have Vedic food. But it's like in the old days in the Vedas, when people were living in the caves, then there were none of this cuisine, paneer and halwa. It's not actually Vedic, it's like...
It's a fest.
Yeah, and the clothes is like, am I wearing a Vedic kurta? Kurta is coming also from the Muslims, yeah? We have harmonium. It's like now we have a Vedic music. The harmonium is also, but it doesn't matter, the real definition of Vedic is actually, it's the part of the scriptures. You have like the 4 Vedas, and that is Shruti, and that's kind of the whole culture. They used to do fire sacrifices and all this. And we are not really part of that culture. We are part of the Tantra, which is the other side. Where, Vaishnava Tantra, where we do all these things that we do, deity worship and chanting. We have the beads. We have like, this is like Bhakti yoga using Vaishnava Tantra. So it's not really Vedic what we do anyway. So the idea that we're going to be like a whole Vedic and we're not going to use computers and it's like, no. Because in Tantra you can use everything. That's the point. In Vedic, it's true. You're not using it. If it was 100% Vedic, we would sit here and have a fire sacrifice right now. and I would wear a kurta. I would wear, just a cloth, unstitched cloth or whatever, and everything would be very pakka. And like that, and we'd be smoke all over here. Yeah, fire and smoke. Yeah. And I would chant everything in Sanskrit, because even using the modern language, it was not, accepted. It should be an original Sanskrit and this and that. But we are using, the English language. All this is Tantra. Yeah. So what we do is Vaishnava Tantra, actually. So it's good you raised this point. We 100% we welcome the technologies. It's just my own, avidya. I'm not able to use it fully yet, But actually, our progress is using everything. Because that's actually our path of Vaishnava Tantra. Yeah. So thank you. Can we read further on?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can read.
All the material planets, upper, lower, and intermediate, including the Sun, Moon, and Venus, are scattered over the universe. These planets exist only during the lifetime of Brahma. Some lower planets, however, are vanquished after the end of the day of Brahma, and they are again recreated during the next daytime of Brahma. Time calculation on the upper planets is different from that of ours. One of our years is equal to 24 hours, or 1 day and night on many of the upper planets. The 4 ages of the earth, Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali, make a duration of 22,000 years and 5 months in terms of time of these upper planets. Such a length of time multiplied by 1,000 is 1 day of Brahma, and 1 night of Brahma is the same.
Yeah, so thank you. Just stop there. So in that way, my story which I told, story from Bhagavatam, is that he waited for 1 moment at Brahma's planet, and then so many yugas had passed. So there you can see, you have 1,000 yuga cycles. That is 1 day of Brahma. Yeah, and 1 yuga cycle is, as we know, is Satya, Treta, Dvapara and Kali. So Kali, the Kali Yuga cycle is 432,000 years. And then the Dvapara will be 2 times the length of Kali Yuga. Treta Yuga is 3 times the length of Kali Yuga. So that means 432,000 times 3. And then Satya Yuga is 4 times 432,000 years. Yeah, so altogether, one Yuga cycle, it becomes 4,320,000. Yeah. Okay. You can continue reading.
With such days and nights accumulating into the months and years, Brahma's life is estimated at 100 years. And at the end of his life, the complete universal manifestation becomes vanquished.
Yeah, thank you. So then, how long is a year? It's 360 days. Yeah. Yeah.
They are saying like when Brahma is not there, the whole manifestation will be finished.
Well, when Brahma is not there, you have 2 instances of that. One is in the end of each his days. He has a night, and the night is lasting as long as his day. So that means, after one of his days, 4,320,000 years, then he has a night of 4,320,000 years. And guess what? We are then, also not manifested. And it's explained at that time we're sucked into the body of Mahavishnu. You're just resting there, and we're kind of recharging, like you're charging your mobile phone, like that. And then we just emerge again. When Brahma is waking up, he's recreating the universe. Yeah. And then we're getting something called a new kalpa. Yeah. A new kalpa of Brahma. Yeah. Yeah. So it's mind-boggling, like our small, little lifetime. How many lifetimes have we had? It's probably a whole lot, and we've probably been, in many yuga cycles. But we don't remember because Krishna is taking away the memory for each birth, and that's good. Yeah, that's his system.
I feel by the previous birth we will not be able to live only. We will be thinking, oh, this happened, that happened.
Yeah, that's the point. It won't be completely, The mind is a little bit limited in capacity. Usually we're just dealing with what is here and now in front of us. But then we have the subconscious still working for us, and the memory is there, made available. It is Paramatma who all the time is actually on top of that situation, of our intelligence, memory, mind. He's feeding us, what we need to know at the right time.
But my question is, Prabhuji, since we don't remember anything, we start from scratch like a blank paper, or we start from something which we left behind?
Yes, it's true. We start from scratch. As far as the mind concerned, it's completely blank. So we have to learn everything again, language and everything. But it said our tendencies from previous we have, because we have the same mind actually. The same mind is following us. The body is always changed, but the mind is actually the same. Subtle body. So that's it can be a huge, bag of samskaras there, and it's called sanchita karma. Actually, this whole bag of samskaras from so many previous lives. But it's
so
nicely
if we
stored
make
down
a
there.
conscious effort, can we change this state of mind before we die?
We can, yeah. But it would be kind of, say if we live our whole life without having much interest, and then just before we die we're really getting serious. It really doesn't, it's like the result at the end of our life is what we have done for our whole life. Yeah. Because it said, everything is just going to be judged, like our whole life will be judged, not just our consciousness in the end. Although it said, that what Krishna says, that the consciousness you have in the end of your life, yam yam vapismaram bhavam tyajate antakalevaram. When you have the antakalevaram, the end of the kalevara, the end of the body, yam yam vapismaram bhavam, whatever we remember, whatever existence we remember, tam tameva tikantya sada tad bhava bhavita. That kind of existence we will have in the next life. Yes.
But does it not all depend? Supposing we are suffering with pain before we die, so it's hard for us to remember.
Yeah. So a little note for that. You know, sometimes it's given very general, but actually it's talked elsewhere. It said that it's also what karma we have.
You said that last time. You said like
Yeah.
you have a bag with seeds, and then you.
Yeah. So this Chantita karma is a huge bag of seeds.
Yeah.
For each life, it's just taking one full hand of that and thrown down in earth, and it gives some fruits.
So we don't know.
So in one sense we don't know, but it's determined by the demigods. Karmana daiva netrana yantu deo upapataya. It said that you have according to our karma, and the devatas they're also determining. And the main devata, the main demigod who determines is Yamaraj, also called Dharma Raj. He's the lord of Dharma, and he's inside each of us body. He's there. Yeah, in each of our bodies there, and he has his assistant called Chitragupta. Chitragupta has a long list of all the good and bad deeds we have done. So in another sense, it's some samskaras there. It's like we don't remember that we scratched our head, but we remember if we got run over by a car. You know, it's a samskara, like significant things that happen is there. And they play a role. If you steal something, it's remembered, you know. If you stole something when we were a child and we were innocent, it's not remembered because we don't get reaction for that. You only get reaction from when you are kind of able to take responsibility like that. It said that after 12 years, something like that, then one is taking one's own karma. Yeah. Otherwise, the parents are taking karma before that. And so then we have a long...
Sorry, Prabhuji, what?
Yeah.
Parents are taking what?
Parents are taking the karma of the children until they're 12 years. Yeah, that I read somewhere. Yeah, in Shastra. Yeah.
And like, if the child has done something bad in the past, and the parents have to bear that.
Yeah, parents are bearing the karma of their children until they're 12. After that, the children are, making their own karma. Unless, of course, the child is, what you call this when retarded, like if the child, then, the whole life would just be like, the child is innocent the whole life, because it's like in the child state for the whole of life, yeah? Somebody has very bad karma like that, it's kind of a hellish punishment, you can say in one sense. So in that way, they don't make any new karma for that whole life, yeah. Anyway, so the point is that karma is going on, and at the end of the life, it's going to be taken into account what we did for the whole life also, not just what we remember in the end of life. Although Krishna is saying this, still there are more things taken into account than just that. But he's talking about yoga there. Krishna is talking about yoga. For a yogi, one is really perfecting one's consciousness at the end of the life. It's really like crucial. But actually, the devatas, they will make a whole judgment of your whole life. That's what happened when we come to Yamaraj. It says that everybody, says in Shastra, nobody escapes to come to Yamaraj, no matter who he is. However, it's only human beings who go there, not devatas and not animals or trees or plants, because it's only human beings who create karma. So it's only dealing with humans. Yeah, so that's clear.
Okay.
Okay, so should we read on? Where did we stop?
The living beings residing in the sun and moon.
Yeah. Okay, so the living beings residing in the sun and moon, as well as those in the Martyaloka system, which includes this earth and many planets below the earth, are all merged into devastating water during the night time of Brahma. During this time, no living beings or species of life remain manifested, although spiritually they continue to exist. This non-manifested stage is called avyakta. So that's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita also, that this avyakta stage is there. Avyakta means unmanifested. It's also sometimes called pradana, the unmanifested stage of all the living entities, and the ma tattva also, or the sum total of all material elements. It's simply just lying dormant, nothing happening. And again, when the entire universe is vanquished at the end of Brahma's lifetime, there is an avyakta state. Yeah, so then now we're going to whole end of Brahma's lifetime, and that's, as we mentioned before, that's 100, years. So that is one breath of Mahavishnu. Yeah, Mahavishnu is breathing out. Lord Brahma is living for 100 years. Mahavishnu is breathing in again. Now guess what? Now this is taking the same time. So we're unmanifested for 311 trillion 40 billion years, and then Mahavishnu is breathing out again. Yeah. So there's a lot of time. So if you sometimes think, I don't have enough time, well, I'm not sure. Looks like we have a lot of time. So all glories to the power of the illusory energy, who makes us think that we don't have enough time. Yeah. So okay. So but beyond these two non-manifested states, there is another spiritual atmosphere or nature. Paratasmad bhava anya avyakta vyakta sanatana. This Krishna says in the Bhagavatam that beyond this avyakta state, you have the sanatana, eternal stage, where there is a greater number of spiritual planets existing eternally, even when all the planets within this material universe are vanquished. Yeah. So Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, Aham eva asam eva gare nan yat sat atsat param. Paschataham yadeta cha yogashisheta susmiyaham. He says, I was there before the creation of the material universe. I will be there when I'm also there when it's going on, and I will be there when the universe is again, out of the window. Yeah. Yeah. So at least our good friend of Krishna is always there. So if we can, get on good terms with Krishna, that would be a good, smart move on our side. In Norwegian it's called sjakktrekk. Yeah. Yeah. Det vil være et sjakktrekk og kontakte Krishna. Yeah. It's a chess move. Yeah. Smart chess move. Yeah. Okay, so we read on the cosmic manifestation within the jurisdiction. I have to make sure that you can see it on YouTube. Let's see. I'll just do like this. Oh, wait a minute. Some of you cannot see the whole picture. We can see, the whole. Now we can see it. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the problem. That my face is frozen again. This program is driving me nuts. No, it's very good. We're using material energy in the service of Lord. Yeah. It's for free even.
Prabhuji, which program do you need? I can buy a subscription for you.
Yeah, thank you. I would need this online. There is this program. It's called. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, you just let me know the name.
Yeah.
I can buy it for you.
Thank you, because then we will have a better transmission here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what program I like to use. Because I checked out all of them. Yeah. So
you can let me know, then I can buy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, let's take this in again. Yeah. Okay, so where were we reading? We were reading here.
Spiritual nature.
The spiritual nature. Yeah, but beyond these two non-manifested states, there is another spiritual atmosphere or nature. Yeah, and then the next paragraph, the cosmic manifestation within the jurisdiction of the various Brahmas is a display of 1/4 the energy of the Lord, and this energy is called inferior. The spiritual nature beyond the jurisdiction of Brahma is called Tripada Vibhuti. 3/4 the energy of the Lord, and is the superior energy, or para prakriti. Yeah. So that has been explained in the Bhagavatam. Yeah. Okay, we got a question here on YouTube from Bharat Bandari. If you use the technology for the service of Krishna, that is okay. I'll give a thumbs up for that one. 100%. Otherwise, I would, I would talk against myself, really. I always been using technology since I was a kid. So I'm definitely, for technology. See where they have this thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah. So we learn, there is 3/4. It's actually spiritual. It's just 1/4 which is material. However, for us, this 1/4 energy is really where we're at. You have to figure out, this platform. Yeah, the predominating supreme person in the spiritual nature is Lord Shri Krishna. He can be approached only by unqualified. Only by unqualified devotional service. Is it say in your book also?
Yes, unqualified.
Yeah, we'll figure out what it means. Don't worry. Yeah.
I think it means one doesn't require any qualification.
Yes, that's what it means. Yes, that's what it means. Yeah. Otherwise, we were used to take job interviews and like that. You're unqualified. It's something negative. Yeah, yeah. So, but this is actually a great news for us, because that means we don't need any qualification. We should just be, completely innocent, and not think of ourselves as qualified. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So you can say.
At the same time, we should be giving quality in our service, just not do service for the sake of doing, I think.
Exactly. There is like a very fine. It's a very fine thing. Yeah. This thing to think. Now I'm qualified to step into Vaikuntha and have a meeting with Lord Vishnu. This is probably not working. We should rather think, I'm so unqualified. I'm so fallen. I cannot even I cannot even think about Krishna. I cannot see him. I cannot even chant his name, but I can take his prasadam. Yeah. We don't really have a problem with taking prasadam usually. And as I mentioned before, also we often think, or somebody wants to give a service in the temple. Say, you want to cook? No, I'm not qualified to cook. Sorry. And then we like to do the deity worship. Oh no. What about giving a class? No, never. Maybe in the next loka of Lord Brahma, next life. Yeah. But not this life. This life I'm very unqualified. Sorry. But now it's time for prasadam. Yeah, I can do that. So at least we can start somewhere and build ourselves up from there. Yeah. And so usually then we take prasadam, and then we naturally like to help to do the dishes or clean it. Yeah. In that way we're engaged in the devotional service.
But it's the duty of the people who are like madhyam adhikaris or uttam to help new people.
That's the point.
So
yeah. So the
even if they say
madhyam,
no,
yeah.
then one should say, I will help you, I will tell you how to do it.
So the madhyam and uttamadhikaris, they will cook and they will do the deity worship. They will give the class, and the new people, they will just kind of assist and enjoy. Yeah. Because it's a family relationships actually. It's actually quite sweet. It just takes some time to kind of settle. Yeah. It's like you go to a new country, If I would go today, I spoke with one Prabhu who had been in, Arabic countries. I'd never been in an Arabic country. If I went there, I would kind of, in the beginning, I feel kind of maybe a little uneasy, how does it work here, So it takes some time for me to settle. But once I'm settled, I can talk with people. I know kind of how it works. Get acclimatized, yeah. So that's the same thing with Krishna consciousness. It takes some time, but then after some time, we'll feel at home and it will be okay.
I think in the temple now we should allow new people to come and join, because they might be like intimidated, like okay, these people know how to do it, but
that's very important.
To include them.
Yeah, it has sometimes been called, kind of the Hare Krishna movement has sometimes been called like a high demand. What do you call this? It's like a term that is a high demand movement. It's like demanding a lot of its people. Yeah. So it's like you have to stand on your head. You have to fast from water, and only sleep maximum 5 hours. It's a little bit too much for most people. Yeah. What did you say? Yeah.
Look at it as high demand service, but I look at it like anyone who tastes the joy of serving then will continue.
Yeah.
So
if one actually has tasted, that's the point. Yeah. So in the beginning, we don't really get maybe taste from doing the service. It's too high demand, but we can start tasting the fruit of the service, which is prasadam. Yeah. So you start with that. Yeah. Actually, this is also high level. Actually, we have a little fun now, but actually, it's true that even to take prasadam is actually a high level. 99.999999 all the people, they don't want to touch prasadam even. You give them for free. Nice plate. You can even make it westernized. Pizza, ice cream, they just say no.
They will buy?
Yeah, because they're kind of allergic to the whole vibe of Hare Krishna. Yeah, they just steer clear. It's like, sorry, I have something else to do. Yeah.
To be touched in the heart.
Otherwise, we will have a queue outside here today. It will be a long queue all the way down to.
I think it's better to take money, because when they have to pay for it, then they will not make that.
Yes, that's a good point. Actually, preaching means reaching. My Guru Maharaj said this. You have reaching, and you just add a P, then it becomes preaching. Yeah? Isn't that smart?
Yeah.
So in that way, some of our preachers in Iskcon, they very wisely, as you said, they make seminars or whatever, and they demand entrance fee. And then suddenly the whole...
just take even 20 crores from each person, or 10 crores.
But actually, they don't take that little, because they take the normal fee which other people are doing, who are giving seminars.
So then they will be happy to give, and then they will not.
And they're happy to do, and then the whole avenue is full of people.
Most of the people think.
So we should do that way. Why should we?
When
give
we have Sunday Fest, everything for free, and then people are getting suspicious.
What's here?
What's the catch?
Yes.
Because nothing in the world is for free. Everybody know. So they're just wary of coming in the door. I'm not so sure. But if you say, okay, it's 500 kroner entrance. Oh, I'm coming. I'll bring all my friends.
So we need money for the temple. Why not we do it that way?
Yeah. So actually nobody is stopping us. We can figure out something. Usually, devotees, they are developing these kind of projects outside the temple. Yeah. There'll be no altar, no demand for all the new guests to bow down, and do kind of things they're not used to. Yeah, it can be a restaurant. It can be like having programs outside. Sometimes they have kirtan programs.
Like I was telling you, like with sattvic food and little bit of preaching and kirtan, they have to pay an entry fee.
Yeah.
So
that's
they
the thing.
will be appreciative.
Yeah, and then they will gladly listen to you. If you give a class here in the temple, then sometimes they're walking out during the class. But if they pay 500 kroner, all of them sit. Not one. They're not even going to the toilet. They just sit and listen to it for the whole 1 hour. So it's actually a very good idea. There are some preachers who did that. And sometimes the devotees will ask him, why are you asking for money? And they say, no, this is the way to preach, And I'm inspired now by yesterday's class by His Holiness, Hridayanandan Goswami, because he said, we need to find a way to reach the people in the Norway. Yeah, and probably that's the way. Yeah.
Or some other way, like we have to identify Vadi Shliter mein egentlig.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. Where did we read? Where did we stop?
The predominating supreme person in the spiritual nature.
We can be approached only by unqualified devotions.
Virette para prakriti.
Okay, you'd like to continue reading?
The predominating supreme person in the spiritual nature is Lord Shri Krishna. He can be approached only by unqualified devotional service and not by anything else, such as the processes of jnana or philosophy and yoga mysticism, much less than that of karma, fruitative work. The karmis of fruitative workers can elevate themselves to the Svargaloka planets, including the sun and the moon. The jnanis and the yogis can reach still higher planets such as Brahmaloka and becoming still more qualified by devotional service. They are allowed to enter into the spiritual nature either in the illuminating cosmic atmosphere of the spiritual sky or on the planets according to qualification. It is certain, however, that no one can enter into the spiritual planets called Vaikunthas without being trained in devotional service.
Okay, let's continue, and let's wait. Now we're talking about planets. Okay, so what is our scope for entering higher planets? Let's see. The karmis or fruitive workers can elevate themselves to Svargaloka planets, including the sun and moon. Now we're talking usually, sometimes in Iskcon, devotees say, these karmis, and they talk about them like they're some kind of low life people, but they don't need to be like that. I mean, here it said that karmis, they can enter the moon, and can you enter the moon? Can I enter the moon? I probably have to stay here, So in that way, karmis are probably better than me, right? If they can go to the sun or the moon, I mean, all glories to them, and I'm just staying here, So the point is that, people can be very, very elevated, even though they're not devotees.
Yes.
It's said that these people, they're called karma kanda people. They follow like the part of the Vedas for fruitive activities to enter heavenly planets. But there's a little distinction here. Usually, I must say, when devotees have been talking about karmis, it's actually not a really right sense of the term. Because karmis here, as Prabhupada is talking, he's talking here about those who follow the Vedic system for elevation in karma. Guess what? You have to be a brahmana by birth. Yes, to do that, to pull off, going to the moon and the sun like that. You have to be there by birth. Yeah. So usually say you say somebody in the shop, he's a karmi. No, he's not a karmi. He's just a normal person. A real karmi is somebody who follows karma kanda and is born in Brahmana family and doing very nice rituals for getting elevated to the higher planets. Yeah, does it make sense? And
so
Gyanis are really, yeah.
What is the point of reaching the moon and the heavenly planets?
Yeah, that's a good question. For devotees, it's no point at all because it's just for enjoyment. It's just going to heaven.
So it's not important, like you have to get
it's not
birth
important.
in a Brahman family, actually.
No, for us it's not important at all. That's why I said, Vaishnavas are not interested in the Brahmana, birth. Because Brahmana is part of Varnashram Dharma, which is made of the three gunas. And Vaishnavism, per definition, is beyond the three gunas. So for Vaishnavas to be a Brahmana is not really a thing. We're not interested in that. We're just interested in being devotees. Finished. Full stop.
Yeah, because in the West there is no caste system, like there is no
exactly.
one called Brahmanas.
However, in Iskcon one may emulate that system to try and have some social kind of structure. So it has been tried, at least in Iskcon, to have what is called Daivi Varnashrama. I think that term was coined by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That some or other, the devotees are taking roles as Brahmana, as Kshatriya, as Vaishya, as Shudra. Because the role of Shudra is not really rocket science. Then anybody who doesn't know what to do, who doesn't know who am I, what is my nature, is Shudra. That's the nature.
Yeah,
because if one is bewildered, But if immediately if you know what to do, for example, the Vaishya immediately will know what to do by instinct. You just start making money already from childhood. They're immediately busy. They see a business and opportunity everywhere. Very quickly, they have much more money than anybody else. It's just natural. And Kshatriya immediately just, looking, trying to control, organize, being on top of the situation, finding, the criminal or the culprit, and being very, angry if it's not, if things are not,
organized.
Yeah, you can say he wants, what do you call this thing? Rettferdighet. What's it called? Rettferdighet in English. Justice.
Justice.
And then the Brahmana, he will just look, where are the books? What does the book say? What is the law? He doesn't worry too much about organizing or earning money or doing the skills or enjoying. He's just looking, where is the books? Where can I get the knowledge about the situation here? And then he's thinking, okay, what is the cause of this? There's some karma. Is it God is trying to tell us something? Very philosophical and immediately on that thing. Yeah.
But Prabhuji, I have a question. Like, supposing if in this birth we are not a part of the Vaishnava family, is it possible to take birth in a Vaishnava family in our next birth?
Definitely.
Like by praying to Krishna.
What's the purpose?
Can you take that again? Because I was answering a question by Bharat Bandare here. He says Vaishnava may not be Brahmins, but they are all Pandits. Yeah. So just so that is said, a real Vaishnava, he is automatically having Brahmatejas. He has the power of the Brahma, according to scriptures. But then you can graduate the Vaishnavas also. What is actually a Vaishnava? Now we're talking about somebody who is very elevated in the devotional service, they will automatically, be qualified, to speak about, spiritual life, but it takes some time before that may be manifested. Yeah, there is a verse, in Bhagavatam, which says, a Vaishnava, he can do the fire sacrifices. Yeah, but of course, you need to learn how to do the fire sacrifice, right? You can say, okay, now you're initiated, so can you do the fire sacrifice tomorrow? No, you have to learn still. That it's just like some or other. If you have gotten to the level of being a devotee of Krishna, then all the other things are inferior. That's the point. Yeah, one may not have all the Sanskrit knowledge, all the scriptural knowledge, and one may not actually do the Brahminical jobs. It's like, say, you need in the Vedic culture, you need to have a Brahmana to arrange for the marriage, for example. And even now you're a devotee, you're a Vaishnava, yeah? But you cannot arrange, the marriage sacrifice, because you don't know what is up or down on anything, doing a sacrifice, fire. You don't know how it works. So better get the one who is coming from a Brahmana family to do it, because they're trained up, in doing that from childhood. Of course, they will do a better job. So devotees are doing that. They may not do it themselves. They may hire somebody to do, because it's just for a ritual, actually. And the most important part of the ritual, which always devotees are doing, is chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then it's said by Shukracharya in the Bhagavatam. He says that, mantras tantratas chidram, is that there may be, defects in the mantras and the tantras, in the different methods you use. There may be some defects. But then he says, whenever we chant the whole name of the Lord, then everything becomes perfect. So Prabhupada, he said that, whenever there is, he asked the devotee always chant Hare Krishna. That's the main thing, whenever you have an installation ritual or this ritual, that, so always chant Hare Krishna. But what was your question, Meena? I missed that one.
No, my question, Prabhuji, is like, supposing I'm not born in a Vaishnava family in this birth. Is it possible to be born in Vaishnava family in the next birth?
100%, yeah. Krishna is giving assurance in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, or is it 6th chapter? Maybe it's the 6th chapter, yeah.
That's it. That's important for us.
Well, to be born in a Vaishnava family is a natural outcome, actually. If you become a devotee in this life, you practice, probably you're born in a family of devotees next life, and you just continue where you left off. So then it said, when you're born, then your parents are chanting Hare Krishna, and that may be your last birth.
Yeah.
It's a very auspicious birth.
Yeah.
And that's Krishna's special gift, that you can be, Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashtupa Jayate. For one who practiced the yoga, you can say Bhakti Yoga, and he didn't, he didn't become a siddha, he didn't reach that far, he's still a sadhaka. So next life is continuing as a sadhaka in the family of, you can say, well-to-do people or very cultured people. So that can be a family of the great transcendentalists. Yeah. And the memory, this kind of spiritual memory mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, it will just come back to one. Immediately when one comes in contact with yogic principles, one will again be kind of into that and just continue from there. Because this is a permanently stored bank account. I've been mentioned many times before. This kind of, bhakti sukriti is there. It's sometimes called samskaras. It's bhakti samskaras. They're stored there. Yeah. Thank you. So we continue reading?
No, I was just wondering, like some stupid thought came to my mind.
Please, yeah.
Anyone, if we see who is pregnant, we should tell they should chant Hare Krishna. And so that the soul which is coming through them gets an elevated birth. Yeah.
The soul is already there if the person is pregnant. It said, when they're conceiving the child, there is something called the Garbhadana Samskara. So at that time, it's given, one should chant Hare Krishna before they have the conception. The same night or something like that. And then then both the man and the husband and wife, they will have the best kind of consciousness by all this chanting, and that will attract a good soul. In that way, they can have a devotee as the child. Yeah, that's the idea, and it should be they should have conception also at favorable time in the day. Yeah. Yeah. So that's actually given as a progress. My teacher, in I was going to this, you can say Archana school to learn, Brahminical, techniques and qualities and all this. And he told his story. He got 2 children. So the first child, they did, this. They did all these samskaras, Garbhadana samskara, and there are some things they do also when she is pregnant. They're also doing something. And so he said the first child he wanted to be, a boy. So they did samskara, and they did this extra samskara after. It's actually said after his pregnancy, then you can even choose very quickly, a few months, you can actually choose if you want to be a boy or girl. And so he got a boy out of that, and then next time he wanted to have a girl, and he got a girl by using another method. And he knows this thing, and it made all sense. Yeah, and he got blessings, from already before the child was born. He was getting blessings from saintly people, and their children are very, sweet. They're like devotees from the very beginning. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So let's read on. Would you like to read further?
Yes. Where were we, Prabhuji?
On the material planets.
On the material planets, everyone from Brahma down to the ant is trying to lord it over material nature, and this is called the material disease. As long as this material disease continues, the living entity has to undergo the process of changing bodies, whether in the form of demigod, a man, or an animal, and ultimately he has to endure the unmanifested condition during the 2 kinds of devastations, the night of Brahma and at the end of Brahma's life. If we want to cease the process of repeated birth and death and the concomitant factors of old age and disease, then we must try to enter into the spiritual planets, and Lord Krishna, by his plenary expansions, is the dominating figure of each and every one of them. No one can predominate over Krishna, and everyone trying to predominate over material nature is called a conditioned soul, being subject to the laws of material nature, suffering the pangs of repeated birth and death. The Lord comes here to re-establish the principles of religion, and the basic principle is to develop the attitude of surrender towards Him. The Lord teaches this is the last position of the Bhagavad Gita.
Wait a little. Let's try and read it correctly. The Lord teaches this in the last portion. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to see, where is that last portion? What is the Lord saying there? He's coming here. Yeah. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir. Yeah. He says he coming when the Dharma has gone kind of out of course. Abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam sirjamyam. At that time I am incarnating. Yeah. That's the reference there. Yeah. The Lord teaches this in the last portion of the Bhagavad Gita, but foolish men have tactfully misinterpreted this prime teaching and have misled the people in diverse ways. They have been urged to open hospitals, but are not interested in educating themselves to enter into the spiritual kingdom by devotional service. They have been taught to take interest only in temporary relief work, which can never bring about real happiness for a living entity. They start varieties of public and semi-governmental institutions for tackling the devastating power of nature. They don't know how to pacify insurmountable nature. So Prabhupada is definitely referring to what's going on in India, where a lot of spiritual groups are there, and they are doing a lot of things for the environment and opening hospitals and schools. And Prabhupada said also it's very nice from the material point of view. But of course Prabhupada is more concerned with actually entering the spiritual world. So in Prabhupada's eyes, they kind of became mundane, from a spiritual startup. They started out spiritual, but it ended up mundane. Yeah. Many men are advertised as great scholars of the Bhagavad Gita, but they overlook the factual method presented there to pacify material nature. Powerful nature can only be pacified by the awakening of God consciousness, as is clearly mentioned in the Gita. Yeah, so that is, when Krishna says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. So now we're talking about nature as the illusory nature of Maya. So Krishna is saying, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mam Eva Ya Prapadyante, Mayam Eva, Mam Eva Ya Prapadyante, Mayam Eva Tarantite. Then Tarantite, one can overcome this Maya. How? By Prapadya, by surrendering to Krishna. Mam Eva Ya Prapadya. He says, only by surrendering to me, Krishna says, one can overcome this material nature. Which otherwise are duratya, very difficult to overcome, or impossible to overcome, actually. Yeah. So it's a Durga, it's a fortress, and Durga Devi is in charge of this fortress, and we can only escape the fortress by being, saved by the devotees of Krishna or by Krishna himself. So Śrī Īśopaniṣad, however, teaches in this mantra that one must know both the Sambhuti and the Vinasha perfectly, side by side. By knowing the Vinasha alone, the temporary material manifestation, you cannot save anything. In the course of nature, there is devastation at every moment. Yeah. So it's said one place in Bhagavatam also, Shutram Shakshubhe Evacha Nashram, it's like Krishna is explaining in 11th canto to Uddhava. He says, that whatever you experience in this material nature by your eyes, by your seeing power, by touching, all our sensual experience is made by the illusory energy. And why is that? It's because it's nashvara, because it's destructible. That's why it's called illusory. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. No one can be saved from these devastations by any efforts of hospital opening. So probably it's a little witty, funny. It's like, but in Iskcon there also was opened, the hospital. It was even called the Bhaktivedanta Hospital. And I saw the picture. There was the doctor, and he had the japa bag in his hand, And in my spiritual master, he was going there, his last days. So the point is that you can have everything used in Krishna's service. If you are a doctor, why not be a doctor for Krishna? But what he's referring to here is that some spiritual organizations in India, and usually they were like impersonalists. They put so much effort into opening schools and hospitals and kind of not really solving the problem of life, because the Mayavadis, they don't actually solve the problem. Because according to scripture, you may not actually escape, the Maya unless you become a devotee of Krishna. You may still rotate. And even if you would, you can say theoretically, merge with Brahman, well, it's not the best situation for the jiva, because the jiva would be more happy by being a devotee. Then the jiva could enjoy rasa. Yeah. So it's a better idea to just go fully for bhakti yoga. They can be saved only by complete knowledge of the eternal life of bliss and awareness. So that's what Prabhupada here says. He says bliss, and bliss is really that's the
bliss is permanent, like.
Yeah, we talk about the eternal bliss here. It's like Ananda Maya Bhyasat. Well, it's talk about the absolute supreme truth. He's always happy, and those who are connected to him are also happy. So it's called Ananda Maya Kosha. It's the last level of development for the jiva is to be in this state of Ananda. Before that is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. So that's what we're trying to do here. We try to distinguish between spirit and matter, for eventually enter the Anandamaya. However, the impersonalists, they also think the Anandamaya Kosha to be illusion created by Maya. So they think this is also illusion. So in that way they just want to merge, and that's it. It's kind of a state where it's called Brahmananda. There is some enjoyment, but it's more like an enjoyment in the absence of misery. There is no misery there, because you don't need to deal with anybody. You don't even need to deal with yourself, because at that time, one has just merged with everything else. But one may possibly enjoy more being together with Krishna. That's the take of the Vaishnavas, and we can even experience this even while we're here. This is the better idea. Yeah, definitely it's a better idea. So the whole Vedic scheme is meant to educate men in this art of achieving eternal life. People are often misguided by other temporary attractive things based on sense gratification, but that sort of service, which just misleads them, is most degraded. You must save your fellow man in the right sense. Let's see. Yeah. There is no question of liking or disliking the truth. It is there. If you want to be saved from repeated birth and death, you must take to the devotional service of the Lord. There can be no compromise in the matter of necessity. Yeah. But the good news is that actually everything can be dovetailed in the devotional service of the Lord. Wherever you are, really, and whatever you do. And Krishna really is giving full, in one sense, he's giving full leniency. If you're just a devotee, some or other, whatever situation you're in, just think that you can do this as a service to me. Krishna says, Yat karoshi. Whatever work you do, whatever you do, really, comes from the word kri, meaning karma. So whatever work you do, whatever activity you do, yad ashnashi, whatever you eat. So we're not saying, you can eat on burger on a McDonald's. Well, you can eat veggie burger there, probably now. Yeah. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhushi, whatever sacrifices you do, you can make a whole big fire sacrifice. And you can do it for Krishna, yeah. It's like now it's coming the summer and people are making a big fire and they're grilling, on that one. You can grill. Is marshmallows, is that vegetarian?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think somebody said they have gelatin in that one sometime.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get vegetarian version. So you can make a little fire, for Krishna. and offer to Krishna afterwards, whatever you... I mean, it's just like fun, but it's like whatever we do is actually like a fire sacrifice. Because we're getting fired, it's more than passion. It's more than passion. We're burning for something. And we can offer that to Krishna. Yeah. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhushi dadat. Whatever you give. We give, we can think we're giving this for the sake of Krishna. Yat tapasyasi, Kantya. It says, even whatever austerities you do. For example, now we have this class. This is also, tapasya. We could do so many other things, but we are sitting here, with Īśopaniṣad. But that tat kurushva mat arpana, do that as an arpana, as an offering to me. Mat arpana means my offering. Yeah. And that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. It's so incredibly simple. After all being said and done, it can boil down to something so simple that we have just a mindset that we want to do everything, for the Lord. And in that way, it wouldn't be different from you can say, more mainstream religions. They also think they're working for God. They're doing the work of God. I've heard that expression from other religions. Like they can say, I'm doing God's work. Yeah. So in the same way, we can think we're doing God's work or Krishna's work. And in that way, we can progress. And anybody, in any religion, they will say, they are getting some communion with God. They will all say they have some experience. They have some kind of mystical, realization. That's just natural, because it's like you want to have contact with any person in this material world. You try, and then finally you'll get some contact. In the same way with God. You want to have some contact, He will definitely answer back in some way or other. And then we become happy and we become fired up to do more. Yeah? To continue a relationship. Just like when two people get to know each other, they do things for each other and the relationship is growing. They get to know each other better and better, and it becomes stronger and stronger relationship. And this bond is explained is the bond of prana. Actually, it's like a invisible bond. It's like pranic connections. So in that way, on a very high level of connection between people, they can actually even telepathically they can transmit through these pranic pathways.
Yeah, you think about someone called.
Yeah, somebody called. It's a kind of synchronicity is happening. Yeah, it's very wonderful. So what to speak of? Why not with Krishna? Yeah. After all, he's even the super soul. He's our next door neighbor, like just knocking.
Yeah.
So it should definitely be possible then, with God Himself, with Krishna. So thank you so much. Any further comments or questions?
No, Prabhuji.
I may have some more notes here. Let's see about what I'll see if I can pull up something. Yeah. Yeah, so we can see the overview of what we're reading, like the paragraphs. So something like that. So the first two paragraphs was kind of focusing on this Vinashena point, that destructible. The whole world is destructible, and nothing, not even science, can make this world deathless. Did Prabhupada use that word, deathless?
Yes, yeah. They say the material scientists and politicians.
They cannot, we are really in the place where everything is destroyed, and nothing can really stop that. And then you have the paragraph, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're talking about, let's see. Yeah, they're talking about, what is that? That's Sambhutim cha vinasham cha. The Vedas, they give the information. Yeah, Prabhupada is saying something like that, that the Vedas are giving information about, the situation we have here, that the world is, death-filled, but we also have a world which is death-free, yeah, which is free from death, yeah. Tasmat, now I forgot the Sanskrit, but Krishna says in Bhagavatam that there is a world which is para, is above, this temporary, manifested and unmanifested world. Yeah. Para tasmat tu bhavanya. Avyakto vyaktat sanatana. Yeah, that's the verse. Yeah. So that's what Prabhupada talks about in paragraph 3, 4, 5, 6. He's talking about, we have all these planetary systems, and they're all actually, the abode of death. But when you go above, all of this. Yeah, so there Prabhupada says, you have the people are even in the sun and moon. And then he says also those in the Martyr Loka. So he makes a distinction. As I mentioned, Martyr Loka is especially pertaining to the Earth planet, to the Earth sphere, you can say. Because here we are really dying physically. In the higher planets, in the heavenly planets, physically one is not dying, it's just the time is up and one is falling down again to take. Yeah, it says then in the Bhagavatam, Kshine Punya Martyr Lokam Vishanti. When the punya, when the good karma is over, we go back to the Martyr Loka. Yeah. But the Vedas, they give then the process by which we can come to the place where there is no such repeated birth and death. And then paragraphs 7, 8 and 9, we're talking about Sambhuti Amrita Marshnute. When we are coming to this eternal place, we are then enjoying Amrit, yeah, or nectar, yeah. And by surrendering to Krishna, we can transcend this death. Only really by surrendering to Krishna, we can transcend this birth and death. So it's like there's no other way. Yeah. So they say, oh, thank you so much. Say we just got some Amrit here when we talk about it. Yeah. Yeah. So Amrit is really the prasadam. When we sing the song for prasadam, we say Anamrita Pao. We get this Anna Amrit. So you can eat yourself back to Godhead, basically. Just by eating prasadam, one is, feeding the spiritual body, and the spiritual body becomes stout and strong. Yeah. And then, what was the last paragraphs? Yeah, paragraph 9, 10, and 11. See, yeah, they talk about, give up the misconceptions. Like, he's talking about, there is like a a group of religionists, or you can say Mayavadis. They're into opening hospitals and schools, and but really one has to give up the attachment to all this worldly, you can say, welfare work. Now, we're not saying we should not do welfare work. Actually, it's very good, and many devils are doing and should continue doing that. We're talking about that welfare work is taking over on the expense of the spiritual life. You see, there is a difference, right? Devotees should be very helpful and compassionate and help everybody. There is definitely, what we should do. But to go and do the welfare work and make that the main thing, well, one will not actually get immortality by that. You may go to heavenly planets by that, because that's given in the Vedas. By doing welfare work for others, one can gain a heavenly residence, because one is very nice. One is like an angel, to others. So that's very good. How can you criticize people who help others, right? There's no problem. Devotees, however, are a rare specimen. They're just so focused to go back to Krishna. It's like spiritual greed, it's even called. Yeah. So the only way to actually get back to Krishna is really being greedy to get back to Krishna. Even at the expense of welfare work, devotees may just want to reside in Vrindavan and chant to their heart's content. And other people may criticize them. Why do you not do any welfare work, open hospitals, school, feed the hungry? They say, sorry, I'm so... they may say they're so in love with the chanting of Krishna's name. They can't help it. And Krishna, he likes that. He likes it. And then he takes that jiva, fully under his chit shakti, or spiritual energy, and, awards that jiva then, the spiritual residence. So, in that way, we're learning from Srila Prabhupada to go in that direction. Yeah. And we will have a new kind of discussion when we go to mantra 15. And 15 and 16 we'll talk about, the urge of the devotee, that praying to the Lord, please give me freedom from your material, effulgence. I don't want to see this. I don't want to be attracted anymore by this matter. It's like a prayer to the Lord. Yeah. So we will look upon that next Friday. Yeah, it will be a long time now. Yeah. Thank you so much. Any further comments or questions?
No, thank you so much for the lecture today, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for helping, as usual.